Hi everybody, welcome. Tammy from Homesteading in the City with Tammy. Today we are out in the garden. As you can hear, the birds are singing. We're going to be doing a garden tour, so if that is something that interests you, stick around. So before we get started with the tour, I just want to welcome you all to my YouTube channel. Thank you for stopping by. For those of you who this might be your first video here, I hope you enjoy the content that I put out. And for those of you who've been here from the beginning, I really appreciate you coming by each week and watching the new videos that I put out. And if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, please consider doing so. It does benefit me by you subscribing to my YouTube channel. Okay, so let's get started. So I'm showing you the garden today. It's kind of cold and windy. We just got done with a pretty good rainstorm, which we really needed. Everything was really dry. But I will get you around here and show you everything that is growing in my garden. So let's get started with that. Okay, so the first things we have here are our carrots, and they're actually doing really well in the pot there. They're growing pretty good. Sporadic, we had some come up. This pot is really full, and this pot's pretty full here. This one has some in it, but this one doesn't really have a whole lot in it. But you know, we're growing and got some carrots, so we'll have some nice fresh carrots here. They'll take a while to grow. The next thing I have, my neighbor ended up giving me some eggplant, so I've got some eggplant here. I had three of them, and as you can see, that one is really little. I forgot to put those cages around them, and the bunny came in and ate the top right off of them. So I have two of them that are really small. Apparently he didn't like them, he just bit it off and then went to another one up closer in the garden, and I'll show you that. And he bit that one off and didn't like it either, so apparently maybe it's poisonous to him, I don't know. But he didn't eat this one, so I got the cage around that, and we'll get some, that'll be nice and big. But at least it didn't kill it, and it is still growing. So now let's look at my cucumbers. Those are doing actually really good. Doubling, tripling size from what I had them put them in. That one there is not doing so good, but everything else is doing really well for the cucumbers. I have my cage there for the trellis for them to grow up on, and then of course the back ones will grow up against the chain link fence, which has always worked really well for me in that aspect for allowing them to grow on the chain link fence. Okay, so the next thing I have, this is one of my Chinese 5-color peppers that I always put on the front porch. I still have not gotten these pots to the front porch, but I probably will here this weekend or something to get them there. I like them to be a little bit bigger before I put them on the front porch. And peppers were really small when I started out with them. So they are actually growing pretty good. And then this is the other one that I have there. And again, growing really nice. My parsley, I didn't get it cut, and it actually went to seed. I'll let it drop its seeds, and then I'll give it a cut, and hopefully it'll grow through. I really didn't need it, and I just never got around to picking it, harvesting it. So we have that. The next thing on the outside of my garden, I always put 2 pots with little sweet 100 cherry tomatoes, and I have them, and they, as you can see, there's some flowers on them, so hopefully we'll start getting some tomatoes here soon. On this other one we got a few flowers, but they do pretty good in this little pot out here, and they're just the super sweet hundreds. So we always try those. It's just nice little cherry tomatoes to pop in your mouth, put in salads and stuff like that. So those are on the outside of the garden. The dog doesn't seem to bother them. Okay, this tomato plant here is my, it's a big boy, a beefsteak type thing. This was actually, I walked outside my front porch, and this was sitting on my front porch on Mother's Day. It came from one of the real estate places near me that they just were dropping plants off for Mother's Day, I guess. So I had that on my front porch for Mother's Day. So I'll have this tomato plant. I normally don't buy them, but I wasn't going to throw it out. We'll put it in the ground. We'll get some tomatoes from it. we'll eat them. Not a big deal. This is my alpaca tomato. I have 2 of these plants. They are both doing actually pretty good. Again, there's flowers on them and actually getting some growth inside of them. The tomatoes, everything is getting pretty tall. And here's my other alpaca that I have. Again, some flowers on that. And they have doubled in size, almost probably tripled in size since I put them in the ground. Doing actually really well. The next thing that I have here is my get that leaf out of there, is my shallots. I have them in with an onion that's growing there, but the shallots are doing pretty good. They've all taken and going straight up. You know, we'll let them go and get some growth into them. So we have the shallots there doing really good. My lettuce, of course, is really good. I need to give it another cut and get some more lettuce into the house. They're getting pretty tall, but I think the pot itself is nice because it's keeping it nice and warm and allowing it to keep growing. So I'm having a really good growth with the lettuce here, and of course the bunny can't get it when it's in the pot. This is the other eggplant that I have that the bunny ate. This one's doing a little bit better than the other one that I have down there, but they're still pretty small. My strawberries are actually doing really well. Got some red strawberries on there. They're coming. I picked about 5 strawberries this morning, but they're loaded with flowers, and I've got strawberries on them that haven't ripened yet, but we will get them. I have my netting over top so that the bunny can't get in here, and neither can the little chipmunk, who loves to eat my strawberries. I see a strawberry right here. Let's see if I can get it. He's right down in here. I think he's ripe. It's my hole. Yeah, look at that. Nice big strawberry. Wow. Nice big ripe strawberry. So that was nice to get. Okay. This tomato plant here is my San Marinado tomato plant. I got 2 of these. I usually try to get 2 of every pepper that I have, just to try to get some for cross-pollination and everything, and to allow them to produce well. I've had good luck by doing 2 of every plant, and it seems to work pretty good for me. So then here's the other one, and again, like I said, they're getting pretty big. Once they get big enough that I know the bunny will not eat them, I'll take this wire cage around the bottom, because I won't be able to get to the tomatoes that are down in there if I keep those wire cages on. So once it gets big enough, the leaves are bitter enough that the bunny won't eat them, so I don't have to worry about it, but they have to get a little bit bigger. So once they get a little bit bigger, almost to the top of this rack here, then I'll take this little wire rack off at the bottom, this cage, and get them off. The next thing I have is my plant of basil, my pot of basil. Growing really good, getting quite a bit of growth on that. And again, this is one of those that I can cut, give it a haircut, and it'll keep growing, and I won't have to worry about that. My last round of peppers is my Heinz peppers. I always say Heinz 57, but they're not Heinz 57. They're just Heinz, what do they call them? Just a Heinz tomato tomato, just a Heinz tomato. So they're, again, doing really well, getting quite a bit of growth on them. They've doubled, tripled in size. The base is getting nice and thick. We'll be able to have some good, we'll hopefully have a good round of peppers again. And of course my weed fabric is working great because I have no weeds. I just went this morning after it rained and cleaned out all the weeds around all of my holes inside these grates, so that I could, you know, it's not competing with the fruit, it's the vegetables themselves. Okay, so then these ones were really little, and these are my Keystone Giant peppers that I got. I got, again, 2 of these. And, you know, they're, I don't know, 2 of these. And, you know, they're, again, doing really well, getting quite a bit of growth on them. They've doubled, tripled in size. The base is getting nice and thick. We'll hopefully have a good round of peppers again. And they were really, really small, and they're actually they're quite a bit bigger than they were. It's going to take a little bit to get some growth on them, but I got 2 of them, and there's the other one doing really well. My blueberry bushes are actually doing really well. There is quite a few blueberries on them coming. They're not blue yet, of course, but there is quite a few blueberries on them, so hopefully I'll get enough blueberries to do something with this year. I got quite a bit last year. They did really well. Okay, so now these peppers, let me get a little closer here, are called the Yum Yum peppers. These are the little peppers that are like the little sweet peppers that you get in the grocery store that are tricolored. These happen to be yellow. Last year, yellow-orange. I got 3 of these little plants. We had so many peppers off these. They were so good. I was able to go to the store and just buy some onions, and then I cut up some peppers and onions and I froze them so that when I wanted to do stir fry, I brought them out. They were the sweetest peppers in the fall, you know, in the winter when I wanted some peppers and onions for steak sandwiches or whatever we wanted them for. They were really, really good. They froze nice. I think I have 1 bag left in the freezer, but it was so nice to be able to go and get some peppers, and they were so sweet. But we ate a ton of these peppers. The branches were full, and even I was picking them off and chopping them up and freezing them when they were green, and they were still really sweet peppers. So I really like these ones, and they're, like I said, they're called the Yum Yum hybrid pepper that we get at the local farmer's stand that we go to. So here is a greenhouse, I guess. Here is a 3rd one, and these were really, really small, or a 2nd one, and then here's the 3rd one. But these ones were really, really small. My radishes, as you can tell, I got a lot of weeds over here. I haven't been able to get out here to weed. It's just, this is the section here that didn't get weeds, and I wanted to put my radishes and my beets. I pulled a few radishes. I probably got a handful of radishes out of here. The rest of them did not make it, and they're actually bolting. I think I have 5 beet plants out of the 4 rows of beets that I planted. Just didn't come up. I don't need beets. It was just one of those things, you know, I had the space. I'm going to grow them, see if we get them. We'll have some beets. If we don't get them, we don't get them. I'm probably not going to grow them, you know, start another row of them just because I don't have the time really to do it. I was really kind of hoping the beets and the radishes would do well in pots last year. That was my test, because I just don't have the time to weed and keep them, and they just will not do well in weed fabric, and them and the carrots. So the carrots did really well in the buckets, so I'm going to keep doing carrots in the buckets. I don't know how I'm going to try to get my radishes and beets to grow. I might be able to do rows where I can keep ahead of some of the weeds. We'll have to see, but I need to buy more weed fabric to do that section there. It was just not enough that I had. But so that's what we're at with that there. My blackberry bushes are doing really good. They're loaded with some berries there. Hopefully I'll get some. These are the thornless blackberries. Hopefully I'll get quite a bit of blackberries off of them, but they are loaded right now with blackberries, and hopefully they will produce. But they're really tall. My raspberries are also loaded with berries. First year I planted them last year, didn't get any berries off of them, so this will be the first year that I've had berries on them. They've doubled and tripled in their size, of course. Doing really well. My oregano, I had given it a haircut, and it is starting to grow again. It needed a good rain. It got cut, and then we didn't get rain, and I really didn't get a chance to water it. So it'll start going, taking off, not a big deal. My rhubarb is doing really, really well again. Could use another pulling out of some. I probably will later this week go through and pop out some of those and either freeze it or give it to my neighbors again like I've been. They don't grow it and they love it, so I like to share if I can. And then the last thing that I just planted in the garden a week ago and are growing wonderful are my green beans. They have all popped out of the ground, so I'll have a nice good row of green beans here. Usually I don't put those in until Father's Day. Father's Day this year is pretty late. It's the end of the month, closer to the end of the month than the beginning of the month. A lot of times Father's Day, you know, you'll get it closer to the beginning of June. And but this year with it being really close to the end, I just didn't want it to be wait that long. They do grow fast. Beans do grow fast, but I would like to get some beans on them before it's too late. But I have a nice long row of beans here, and look how many are in grows. They just took off. I mean, I've got a ton of green beans right here, and these are my Vortex green beans that I grow. They get about 12 inches long. Really tender beans. We like them. We've been doing it for quite a few years for them, and we just absolutely love them. Okay, so that is my garden tour, guys. Well, guys, I guess that is it for today's video. It's going to be kind of a short one, I guess. I just don't have a lot to show. I mean, everything is growing really well in the garden, doing really well. I was able to harvest the last of my radishes that I had, some strawberries, as you saw, that I got a strawberry, but I actually picked out some other ones earlier today, so I got a little cup full of strawberries, and that's probably what I did last year. Every day I was able to get a little cup of strawberries, and I had them as my breakfast every morning for while strawberries were in season, and just ate them. Hopefully my blueberries will do really well. I'm gonna have to get a net to put over top of them so that the birds don't eat all the blueberries once they start getting a little bit bigger and ready to ripen. So when I go to the store the next time I gotta buy some, I used cheesecloth to put over top of them, and I just pinned it down to the bottom of the pots last year, just to drape it over. The sun could still get through there, and they were still able to grow, but the birds could not get to the berries, and it's just a deterrent from the birds just landing on the berry bush and sitting and eating. You know, you do the same thing with your trees, you know, you cover them so that the birds just don't sit in there and eat the cherries, because they will eat them all if they can. But yeah, so that is it. Everything is doing really good. I guess I'll try to do a garden video the middle of every month, trying to get a garden video out so you guys can see where my garden is at and what is growing, if I try to do anything new. I don't think I'm going to add anything new into the garden, but who knows, I might find something that it's like, ooh, I want to grow that. I have a few pots left that I could put some plants in if I needed to, so we'll see. But for now, that is it for today's video. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, I will see you on the next one. Bye!